Hey, good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you may be in this beautiful planet of ours. This is Marc Lainhart, the Intuitive Prospector, here on the Intuitive Prospector page. It is Monday morning and time for another Metaphysical Mocha Mondays with me. We're going to just take the next 30 minutes, going to talk about some inspirational topics and some things to get you going for the week ahead. Thank you if you're just joining. One of the requirements for hanging out on Metaphysical Mocha Mondays with Marc here on the Intuitive Prospector page is to have a nice cup of coffee. So if you got a cup of coffee, if you got a cup of tea, got a few people that are tuning in this morning with me, so thank you so much. Good morning. Just give some shout outs. Barb, Karen, Paula, Rod, Misty, April, Karen, Misty, how are you guys? So just want to say good morning. Hope that you're doing well. Hope that you had a fabulous weekend. And I was off actually last week. Took a day off. I needed to, I always say it's important to take the time to disconnect so that you have the time to reconnect, and that's what I had to do. So this morning I'm going to be talking about something that came to me during my meditation, before every live show that I do. This is live right now, so you can interact with me during the show, but I'll be answering Q&A after at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time for the Prospecting Q&A after show. And that is my way of giving back and doing readings, spiritual chats, inspiration, meditations, and it's a great way to connect with me through Facebook Live. So I'll be broadcasting also through my YouTube channel, so I'll be putting a couple links in the description field below. But for those of you that hang out with me every Monday morning starting at 8 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, you can click by hitting if you're on a mobile, just hit your screen and the description comes up, and there is a couple links in there, one from my YouTube playlist that stores all of my radio shows, all of my Metaphysical Mocha Mondays, all of my hikes, all my dives. I call it my spiritual soul adventures library, so you're more than welcome to subscribe. And if you feel like sharing out the page, please do so. For those that help me share out the page, I do track who shares this out with other groups, and those that subscribe to my YouTube playlist at the end of the month, which is just in a few days. It's January 28th. We're going to be at the end of January. Thank God, because this is today's topic. Is I've deemed that January is the Monday of the year. Most people don't like Mondays. And that's why I chose to actually stream this live show on Monday mornings to help you for the week ahead, to give you inspirational messages, to just think about something different, maybe something you haven't thought about, something that might be in line with where you're at on your life, your spiritual journey. Even if you don't have a spiritual journey, if you just have questions, that's what I'm here for. I like to say spiritual prospecting for your own spiritual goal. So if you want to learn more about the work I'm doing, you can find me at marclainhart.com. You can internet search the Intuitive Prospector. You can catch me on a few different communities, including Best American Psychics, Best Psychic Directory, and Aerial Spiritual Community. You can also find me now on famouspsychicmediums.com. So I'm really happy to be a part of all of those platforms. And if you subscribe to my YouTube playlist, if you share the page out, at the end of this month, I'll be picking one person that will go into a list. Spirit will pick that person for me to do a free 30-minute reading. I will contact you privately via Facebook Messenger. So if you share the page out or you subscribe to my YouTube playlist, let me get you that YouTube playlist right now, just while I'm thinking about it. And then we're going to get into what I like to say is the magic of the moment. So if you check your comment section, there is a link now for my YouTube playlist if you'd like to subscribe to that. And again, it's called my Soul Adventures Library. I'm also going to put a link in for you guys that might be, more interested in spiritual metaphysics, meditation. I do a lot of teaching through the Learn It Live platform. So I've gone ahead and put in my Soul Adventures Learn It Live platform where you can register to take, I've got about 15 classes on there now over the last few years, and I've been having a lot of fun teaching online. So let's get into the magic of the moment. And with that, just want to read you something just to kind of set the week and set the tone for the week ahead for you. I hope your dreams take you to the corners of your smiles, to the highest of your hopes, to the window of your opportunities, and to the most special places your heart has ever known. And the reason this morning's topic is about why I deemed January as the Monday of the year. there's a lot of things that have happened in my journey and in my life. And January just has not been a favorite month of mine. It's always a hard time. 33 years ago when I was 14, I remember watching the Discovery space shuttle. Or I'm sorry, I was watching on Discovery the Challenger space shuttle that actually blew up. And that was my first awareness of really death and dying. I think it was 14 at the time, 13, 14. But it's on this date today, 33 years ago, that the Challenger was 73 seconds into its flight with the school teacher on board. All of us in the classrooms were watching it, if you remember this. And the Challenger blew up right in front of us on live TV, and I'll never forget that. So that was my first experience with January. And then unfortunately I've had both brothers pass into the spirit world, one from murder and one from brain cancer, and they passed in the month of January. So it's not been a great month. And now this has been several years ago, guys. This isn't something recent. But January for me is always just a reminder of how precious life is. But it also, because I do my show on Mondays, I figured since we're at the end of January, I might as well call out January as being the Monday of the year, if you will. For some people, January is a great month. It's new beginnings, it's new starts. I was in meditation circle on Saturday, and there was a lot of people at meditation, probably the most I've seen in months. And it's kind of like working out, right? The gyms get really packed, the meditation circles get packed because everybody has set whether you call it a New Year's resolution, a new direction, whatever your journey is, it's just starting new. But for me, I wanted to just remind people the importance, and I'm just gonna share a number with you because, again, for those of you that are having a rough go, I always remind people of the, and I keep it right here too, is the suicide prevention hotline. Now I know it's backwards on the video, but I always just share this out because it just, working with my clients, my spiritual prospectors, my spiritual development group, I just can always feel when there is anxiety or depression with people, and that's kind of being an empath in what I do and the work that I do. So I just wanted to remind people, if you're having a rough go in life, and we all have our dark nights of the soul, we all have our not so good days. For me, it's the month of January, and of course, a good friend of mine just lost his daughter, his 17-year-old daughter, in late December, so that doesn't help with the grieving process, because the grieving process, you guys, takes place not usually during the events or the funeral. It's the months after that really start to impact you and really kind of, start to get you thinking or, maybe not thinking or wanting to not do stuff and be motivated. So today's show is just a reminder that if life is tough for you right now, if things are going bad for you, they're not going the way that you want, it all starts with you. The energy, the vibration, the frequency starts within, and we vibrate out what we want for our lives. And I've learned that through my own journey, through my own studies, through my own education. But the suicide prevention hotline, again, I'm just going to give you that number. It's 1-800-273-TALK or 8255. So 1-800-273-TALK, or you can go to suicidepreventionlifeline.org. They're always there 24/7, 365. So if you're having extreme mood swings, if you're feeling reckless, or you see somebody that's feeling reckless, or increase of maybe alcohol or drugs during the holidays are not always great for people. Maybe somebody's calling out that they I know Pete Davidson from Saturday Night Live had posted out on his Twitter, his Instagram, about not wanting to be here, and people took that really seriously. So pay attention to the people around you. Give them this number. Call into this number. Again, 1-800-273-TALK. And I just like to remind people for that, because it is not always, as I say in the spiritual path, it's not always rainbows and unicorns. And sometimes when you become more empathic, when you become more spiritual, and the Dalai Lama talks about this a lot, the more sensitive you become, but the more depression or anxiety or fear of something that you might have, you might be more prone to that. So I just thought today I would just talk about how January is the Monday of the year, but it's getting better. It's almost over. It's January 28th. We're moving into Groundhog Day, which is not too far. I'll say here in Seattle, it's actually been a pretty good winter. So the gray, for those of us that live in the Seattle area, the Pacific Northwest, it's a beautiful place to live. I mean, the mountains look like this. Lots of green, lots of rain, but we also have a lot of gray skies, and we sell more sunglasses pretty much anywhere in the world. We sell some of the most sunglasses because of the glare, the gloominess, and that can really wane on your physical journey, your emotional journey, your mental journey, and your spiritual journey. So, when I was meditating, because for all my shows, I'm not sure exactly what I'm going to talk to until I kind of connect in and resonate with the consciousness of what's going on in the world. And there's a lot of chaos going on in the world right now, guys. If you're in the United States, there's a lot going on. And I was talking with my wife and a good colleague of mine up in Canada, a good friend of mine, and they both reminded me of, not getting wrapped up into the media, the news cycle, the 24/7 news cycle, because it can really, get into your psyche. And so I've really been trying to get away from the news, everything that's going on with government, everything that's going on with religion, and there just seems to be a lot of chaos in the world. So you got to really pay attention to what you want to tune into and what you don't want to tune into. So garbage in, garbage out, as the old saying goes. So I just wanted to let you guys know too, as a spiritual professional psychic medium, been doing this work for about 5 years. It's not always, like I said, rainbows and unicorns and happy-go-lucky. We all, especially those of us that are in the spiritual world, as spiritual teachers, we take on a lot ourselves. And I think if we're going to walk the walk, we need to talk the talk and let people know that we too have our own anxiety. We all have our depression. We all have our negative thoughts, or what I call self-sabotage. And when you find yourself getting into that arena of negative thinking, self-sabotage, listening to what other people say versus listening to what you want to do and what your heart is saying, because I always say that the soul will lead you, but it will not govern you. This guy up here, the monkey mind, will govern a lot of times and want to jump in. And that's a good time to actually disconnect from things. Get out into nature, take a walk. My wife and I woke up this morning, went on a nice walk. It was still dark out, did a little bit of Qigong, which is your own energy, some meditation, some gardening, walking your dog, sitting in silence. I mean, there's just a lot of modalities that you can get into to find the inner strength that you're looking for, to find the answers that you're looking for, because they come from the outside, guys. They don't come from, they come from within. They don't come from the outside, is what I meant to say. So I need more coffee. So give me a second here. So grab your coffee, grab your tea. We're in the magic of the moment, talking about January being the Monday of the year. I do my show on Mondays. I see, I've been doing this for 2 years now. I've been doing Metaphysical Mocha Mondays for 2 seasons. And I started off, and now I see a lot of people doing Facebook Live and doing it at night and giving free readings, which is great. But I like to do it in the morning because it sets that tone for the week, and I like to do it on Mondays because it gets you inspired for the week ahead. Now, we've got you covered all week long for inspiration. You've got me on Monday morning where I do the 30-minute inspirational show, Metaphysical Mocha Mondays, followed at 8:30 if you want to stick around on this page. Make sure to subscribe or like to the page, the Intuitive Prospector. I'll then open up, come back online, because this part of the video goes to my YouTube channel, but I'll come back on Facebook Live at 8:30 a.m. Pacific Standard Time, so 11:30 a.m. Eastern, for the Prospecting Q&A after show. And that goes from anywhere from a half hour to, I've done an hour, where I'm talking to you guys directly that are tuning in right now. And if you want to invite your friends, free readings, spiritual chats, inspiration, it just really is kind of an open format, but it's my way of giving back on Monday mornings. And then on Wednesdays, Wisdom Wednesdays, through the internet, the power of the internet, I love it, internet radio. We're in our 4th season of Inspired Living Radio. We have amazing guests, amazing topics, things that make you go, And that'll be on this Wednesday at 12 p.m. Pacific, 3 p.m. Eastern, through the Om Times Radio Network. Just type in Inspired Living Radio. We'll pop up on the internet. What I love about our show is it's global. We have listeners from all over the world. You don't need a password. You don't need a username. You can log on from anywhere on any device and listen to us. And if you miss a live show, we're podcasted through YouTube, SoundCloud, Podbean, iTunes. And then on Fridays, my co-host, Kim Falcon, who is in Richmond, Virginia, wraps up the week with Aloha Freedom Fridays. So great way to just be inspired throughout the week, especially in a day and age when there just seems to be a lot going on. And I just wanted to remind people that, for me, even in my journey, I took last week off because January is just is a hard month for me. I'll be honest with you. And be open and honest and vulnerable here on Facebook Live. But I have a rough go in December or in January because of my brothers passing, both brothers. My older brother passed in early January. My younger brother passed in late January, January 23rd, January 5th, are the dates that kind of just stick with me forever. It's also the month that really changed my life when I got a phone call that forever changed my life to be able to even be talking to you today and have a radio show and be talking about spiritualism and psychic and awareness and intuition and mediumship. And it all started in the month of January. So the pros and the cons of January. And so what I did last week is I went and saw Mary Poppins. If anybody can fix it, Mary Poppins can. So I love Mary Poppins. I went to Mary Poppins Returns last week trying to just get out of the funk that I was in, the energy that surrounds me during the month of January. And it was a great show. So I highly recommend Mary Poppins Returns if you're a Mary Poppins fan. I go to England. I'm a British trained medium, so I really resonate with the whole English culture, the English literature, the English stories, and of course Mary Poppins is directly out of England, out of London. So highly recommend it. And there's some great songs, Where the Lost Things Go. Great song, kind of reminds you of those that we've lost that are still with us. They're just in a different place and a different time. So it was a good way to just kind of get my spirits up. So that's what I'd recommend to you. Get your spirits up. Get out and get out into nature, find yourself in a meditative circle, find yourself in some sort of community, because by getting out and movement, and just getting outside can really change your brain patterns. I'm going snowshoeing this Saturday. I offer community events, experiences. So we've got Saturday snowshoe or snowshoe Saturday this Saturday. I've got a couple classes coming up and got a few new Forest Friday hikes coming up. So it's about getting out and enjoying your life and finding simplicity. It doesn't have to be over the top. It can just be simply sitting and watching the birds. I'm sitting here watching outside my studio. There's a crow looking at me right now. So, January with the weather, depending on where you live, for us in the Northwest, it's dark a lot. I hope that the legislation passes that we stop springing ahead and falling back and that we just stay on a time, because it doesn't, honestly guys, if you're in the Pacific Northwest of Seattle, it doesn't get light until about 8 o'clock. It's just the sun is just up and it's almost 8:30. And so I hope that the legislation talks about like we become like the state of Arizona and that we don't change, we don't spring ahead or fall back. But it can wane on you, those gray skies and those long dark nights. So find the light in the darkness. And Karen says, I love Mary Poppins. Yeah, I love Mary Poppins. If anybody can fix it, Mary Poppins can, or as she would like to say, pish posh. So thanks for hanging out with me today, guys. Today's topic is January is the Monday of the year. So our Monday is almost done for the year. We'll move into the month of February. I want to let you guys know, too, if you're interested, my new article is out. It is because we're in the year of 2019, and I'm a numerologist, so I work with numbers a lot. I study numerology. It's a ancient practice, 4,000 years old. I've gone ahead and put the link in the comment section if you want to check out the article for this month. And the article is called 2019: The Rule of Three. In a universal year. This is a universal year, guys, so get ready for some big, creative, expressive stuff. The last time that we were in a 3-year was 2010, and that's when social media really started. Facebook, Twitter, Reddit, LinkedIn, Pinterest, Google+, YouTube, those really all started to take off. And you're going to see something globally in 2019 that is expressive, very creative. I say globally, but maybe even beyond, something from space, something that connects. But the article is in the link if you want to click on that. And there's also a way to sign up for my newsletter called Soul Adventures. I try to write once a month if I can. This article has already been published out, but it talks about the education, knowledge, and wisdom of the number 3. So if any of you resonate with the number 3, we're in a 3-year. It's a universal year. There are so many things that tie to the power of 3, and I'll probably talk about this next show just because of the sake of time. We're almost out of time. But if you want to check out the newsletter or subscribe to my newsletter, please do so. If you're interested in any kind of spiritual development, I have a weekly online group with people, amazing people. It's a smaller group. It's not open to the public, but we meet through the Zoom platform. It's awesome. Every Wednesday night, at 6 p.m. Pacific Standard Time. So those that are on the East Coast can still participate because it's 9 o'clock your time on the East Coast. And I've been asked to maybe do an international group where I can actually connect with people that are watching internationally, doing something early in the day. So those that are in England or on the other side of the Atlantic Ocean can participate in some sort of spiritual development. We work on intuition, awareness, inspirational speaking, psychic modalities, mediumship modalities, spiritualism, philosophy. So it's a lot of fun. So if you're interested, send me a private message and I'll be happy to give you a visitor's pass to that group. So with every show, I like to give you some things to think about for the week ahead. So with that, I want to give you your number. This week is manifestation. The number 8, turn it sideways, becomes the infinity. That's your number for the week. Number 8, infinity and manifesting. I didn't really get into spiritualism and manifesting until I was actually in my graduate studies of sports medicine and human performance here at the University of Washington. And part of the courses was visualization, meditation, manifestation, but it was all focused on the professional athletes. And for me, thinking I was going to work in that arena, that genre, after I retired from the fire service, I started to apply it to mindfulness. And it's interesting because even the Weight Watchers program, I just saw a commercial, and they're talking about more mindfulness, about manifesting and visualizing from the inside out what you want your health and your body to look like. So mindfulness, manifesting what you want, very powerful stuff, because you send out a vibration and a frequency, and what goes out must come back. So it all starts with you if you think about it. Your thoughts become your words become your actions become your behavior becomes your habits become your destiny. So manifestation, manifest what you want in 2019 and be ready to excel and go after and take a leap of faith. Rumi teaches us to leap without feet all the time. That's what life is about, and not buying into fear and worrying about what other people say or what other people think. Because for me, fear is false evidence appearing real. And if I fail at something, I actually embrace it and say it's my first attempt in learning. That's what fail means for me. So fail big, fail often, learn, love, laugh, but most importantly, manifest for the things that you desire. And I always say prospect for the life that you want to have and go after it with both hands. The spirit animal for this week is, if you see the ostrich come across your path, the ostrich is a very cool spiritual animal that reminds us to sort out whatever is no longer useful to you and let go to make room for new space. So sometimes, just like the trees every season, like right now we're in the dead of winter, and they have no leaves because they get rid of things that no longer serve them or serve their higher good or allow them to be healthy. But below the surface, the spring is right around the corner and the leaves will come back. So you have to do the same thing within your own journey. Get rid of stuff that no longer serves you. Let go of things, people, situations that don't serve you, and move into that space. I had actually posted, was it a couple days ago, where I was talking about there is it's so empowering to say, and you can try it on your own, this isn't serving me, and walk away in peace. And that's really helped me in my journey. This isn't serving me, and just walk away in peace. And you can do that with people and career and love life, and just say, you don't have to be negative about it, and just say, this isn't serving me. This person may be a blessing, this person may be a lesson, but it's okay to walk away and choose peace versus, I always say, choose to be right or choose to be at peace. The choice is always our own, right? So if the ostrich does come up for you, just know that you're completely protected from any kind of, intrusion psychically or empathically. Find some practical uses for whatever inspirations and ideas have come to you recently, and embrace those. And be courageous in exploring and gathering information from new metaphysical, spiritual areas. That's what the ostrich can bring for you. So if you see the ostrich on your path, pay attention to that. It's interesting how the universe, how the spirit world works with us. I've seen it time and time again. I've seen full non-believers and skeptics become full believers of the etheric spirit world, a world that we don't always see. Just because we don't see it doesn't mean it's not there, guys. I want to remind you of that. Just because we don't see it doesn't mean it's not there. The telescope, the microscope, different frequencies, different how we hear, how we see. there's a lot going on around us. So I just want to remind you that you're a physical, emotional, mental, spiritual being here having a human experience, but your energy and your heart works off energy, but you're a spiritual, energetic being here having a physical journey to learn, to grow, to transform, to unfold. And sometimes the lessons aren't always easy. So don't want to be naive to say that life is easy, because it's not, but it's your choice, your decision to, you know, smile or frown, go after it, not go after it. So with that, wanted to give you just your last crystal, and then what we'll do is we'll end this show. This will go over to my YouTube channel, so make sure to subscribe to my YouTube playlist, Soul Adventures. There's over 200 videos now, Inspired Living Radio, Metaphysical Mocha Mondays, diving, hikes, waterfalls, meditations, a lot of spiritual awesomeness, as I like to say. And the crystal for your week, so we've got your totem animal, which is the ostrich. We've got your... lost my train of thought. We got your ostrich, and we've got your number, which is the number 8 to manifest. And of course, the crystal for this week is calcite, Calcite. Calcite is a powerful amplifier. It's also a cleanser of energy, and it's simply having calcite in the room. I have it on my desk. I don't have calcite right here right now, but I usually wear calcite, or I keep it on my desk for my day job, because it cleans negative energy, and it's kind of like an air freshener, if you will, of crystal. If you're into crystals, or you're into the power of crystals. But calcite, you can get different colors. It's a very common stone. It's not a rarity stone. It's found in Britain, United States, Brazil, Romania. It's all around the world, and it comes in many different colors. That's what's cool about calcite. So if you know calcite, you work with calcite. It comes in the colors of green, blue, yellow, orange, clear, brown, pink, gray, or red. So I highly recommend calcite. Each calcite has a different way of working with energy. So I prefer black calcite because it's a what I call a record keeper stone for regression and regaining memories of my past. So I use black, and I also use gold calcite, which is excellent for meditation and attunement for higher mental planes. So those are your 3 tips for this week. It is 1 minute after 8:30, so I want to just thank you for hanging out with me today. Just talking about how January is the Monday of the year, so we're moving into longer days, sunnier days, getting out of the January. And like I said, for me, it was just kind of just sharing my own journey of how tough the month of January is for me. But I'm ready to get back on the horse and keep inspiring and keep sharing and keep guiding. And I just want to thank you guys for hanging out with me today. So I'll be back here in just about 30 seconds for the Prospecting Q&A after show. So get your questions ready. We'll do a couple readings and then get on with the rest of our day. But thank you so much for hanging out. I hope that you have a glorious week. And as I always like to say as I wrap up every show, is until our next soul adventure together, be kind, be caring, be compassionate, and go out and get outside, get moving, and get living. So get busy living or get busy dying, as the one of my favorite shows from the Shawshank Redemption goes. So, but I'll be back next Monday, and if you can't catch me on Mondays, it's over on my YouTube playlist, and then I'll be on the air for Inspired Living Radio, another fantastic show coming up. So have a great rest of your day, and we'll see you next Monday. Namaste.